This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Effizode 778. Hello, it is Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last... sorry. So I've been putting, this flaxseed meal in my Matthews chinos, and it's starting to choke me. So I see that I've got no water to wash down the flaxseed meal. Mike's Daily Podcast. So I might die right here and now while I am trying to make an appeal. Mike's Daily Podcast. To your podcasting entertainment senses that you have. I don't know where I'm going with this, but have you heard that there is this show called Mike's Daily Podcast, and it's important that you know you can sing with Mary Poppins' voice if you'd like. Mike's Daily Podcast. But that's entirely not necessary. So yes, we're broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mike's California Daily. And today Podcast. I have the return of the much-loved feature, WOW SCHATZ WOW, where we'll look at some very interesting news stories you didn't know about or hear. Plus, we'll hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. And speaking of Madame Rootabega, look at just walking in. Hello, it's Madame Rootabega. Yeah, everybody knows that. You didn't do the whole big thing you do with your last name. Oh, yeah. Madame Rootabega. Did you like that? No. Oh, I am so upset. And, we are going to have a great show this show. Also, last show, disgruntled fiddle player, we found out he has the gout. And he loves Sweden. Madame Rootabega, are you from Sweden? No, Michael Matthew. Well, where are you from? It is a place that is far away and has lots of people that are very annoying. They have terrible speaking voices. Look, Walsh just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the barking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Guys, I wanted to tell you that the disgruntled fiddle player loves Sweden.
What's not to love about Sweden? It's a beautiful country. People go there, and they like to... I don't know what they do there.
They make movies that are really scary and have to do with women that have tattoos and kick beehives. Do you know that? Oh, the girl with the dragon tattoo. And all those great movies. Is that Sweden? Well, I wanted to tell you about this thing that I've noticed lately. And that is, I'm 45, almost 46. And in all my years, I have discovered that I have had many a person ask me for money on the streets. And they always seem to start with this line, "Excuse me, sir." Which, the first couple times you hear that, you're like, oh my gosh, someone needs my attention, they need something from me now, I need to turn around. And then you turn around and they're like, man, I'm really down on my luck. I need money. And then it turns into a big musical and we're all dancing and pennies are falling from heaven. And it's this musical I'm working on. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to use the music that you're hearing in the background right now. Mm-hmm. La 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 la. No. And then what I have discovered is that now when I hear the words, "Excuse me, sir," even if it's not from a person of a suspicious nature, I immediately keep walking and walk further. And then that Phil Collins song, "Oh, think twice, it's another day for you, you and me in paradise," drums. Dun 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 dun. All right, that's what I've noticed. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate that observation. Michael Matthew, we have no idea what you're just talking about. Oh. Do you have to end every sentence with an ooh? Ooh. Yes, why not? Do it. It feels good. Ooh. Oh, yeah, it does feel good. Well, this person doesn't feel good. They decided that the state of Maine does not make them happy anymore, and they are leaving because of what they did to them. This, according to Reuters, the nurse who treated Ebola patients in West Africa and publicly fought quarantine orders in New Jersey and Maine after returning to the U.S. This was last month. She has decided to move away from her home state. Casey Hickox and her boyfriend plan to leave Maine after November 10th, after this weekend, or after the expiration of the monitoring period for her virus's 21-day incubation. Wilbur did not say, that would be her boyfriend, Ted Wilbur, did not say where the couple is planning to move. He says, "We're going to try to get our lives back on track." Hickox returned to the U.S. last month after treating Ebola patients in Sierra Leone, was quarantined in a tent outside a hospital in New Jersey for 4 days despite showing no symptoms. After criticizing New Jersey Governor Chris Christie over the forced isolation, she was driven to her boyfriend's home in Fort Kent in Maine's far north, where Governor Paul LePage ordered her quarantined even though she had tested negative for the virus. She publicly defied the order, drawing national attention to the battle between states seeking to impose strict restrictions on healthcare workers returning after treating Ebola patients and the civil liberties of those individuals. Last week, a judge ruled the isolation of Hickox was too stringent, but ordered her to continue self-monitoring through November 10th. Medical experts say Ebola can be transmitted only through the bodily fluid of a person who is exhibiting symptoms. The deadly outbreak of Ebola on record has killed nearly 5,000 people, mostly in Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. So basically, Maine and New Jersey are states that have Ebola-chondriacs. And apparently Hickox has enough time for it. She's getting the heck out of this Ebola-chondriac state of Maine. So what do you think about all of this and the words, "Excuse me, sir," or "Excuse me, ma'am," that you hear on the street? You know, you also hear that same thing when you're walking through a mall and you're passing the kiosks and those people are trying to give you some sort of skincare. I hear it. I hear the "Excuse me, sir," and I know what the next line is. In fact, every time I turn around, it is this exact next line. It is, "What do you use on your skin?" I'm a guy. I use nothing on my skin. I use sunscreen on my skin because I was born and raised in Southern California, and unfortunately, a lot of people I knew had skin cancer, so to put the sunscreen on. But other than that, I don't want to talk to you, person at the kiosk, who generally has a very, they're usually very pretty women. So I guess most of the time, that's another thing that will make you turn around if you're a guy. But at any rate, what do you think about those kiosks? And what do you think about the whole thing with disgruntled fiddle player having the gout? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. He looks out to the man on the street. "Sir, can you help me? I've got blisters on the sole of my feet." Also, check out the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. It's a wonderful place that has links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. Rate and comment on the show in iTunes. That helps our ranking if you do that. Also, links to where to find us on Facebook. Like the Facebook page when I post a new show. Share it with your friends, and more people will find out about us that way. It's a great way to support the show. And you can support the show through the Amazon Deal of the Day. Or actually, it's not the Deal of the Day anymore. It's just cool things that they're selling on Amazon. Well, it takes you to Amazon if you click on it. And if you buy something through that link, that helps us out. You can also find links to where to find us on YouTube. We're also on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Yelp, Tumblr, and Twitter. Oh, and I think recently in Mixcloud, we're in the top 20 news podcasts. Well, this is a news podcast, so we're going to get to that right now. Oh, don't forget, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, too, is where you can find out what we got going on with the blog, the daily podcast picture, and all my past interviews are there, too. Okay, news stories.
Wow Schatz Wow.
So my mom is German, and she says this funny expression when I tell her something that surprises her. She goes, "Wow Schatz Wow." And here are some stories that I've amassed that I found were fascinating, and I thought you might say to me, "Wow Schatz Wow." And these have to do with today's culture.
I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me. Paparazzi. Baby, there's no one.
Paparazzi. The reality is that today's OK or People reader feels entitled to know everything there is to know about celebrities, which makes churning out nonstop updates on Hollywood's rich and famous a round-the-clock job. This segment of the media is much hated, of course, but the demand for what it produces is endless. According to the New York Observer, one subgroup of the gossip industry is particularly loathed. A hardcore group of photographers rumored to include ex-cons and gang members. They latch on to particular celebs and make that person their beat, learning where they live and shop. Sometimes, if there's a potential news break, a pregnancy rumor, or a high-profile breakup, they might follow them around. Last year, in response to the growing market for news about not just celebrities but their children, a group of prominent actresses, including Halle Berry and Jennifer Garner, pleaded with lawmakers in California to outlaw aggressive paparazzi behavior around kids. Legislatively, this resulted in California Senate Bill 606, which makes it a crime punishable by jail to harass a child because of a parent's profession. Without fanfare, a number of celebrity news outlets asked photo agencies not to use those kinds of photographers, especially around children. Earlier this year, actress Kristen Bell brought a new tactic to the fight, a no-kids policy that punishes media outlets that run unauthorized photographs of celebrity children by restricting access to celebs. If a publication then violates the no-kids policy, it and the entire parent corporation run the risk of being blacklisted. The enforcers of the no-kids policy are some of Hollywood's biggest publicists. Not every single rep at every single firm has signed on, but a handful of agents representing several huge names have taken action against specific media outlets. These agents often refuse to even return calls for reporters trying to fact-check or get comments. Some have withheld all their celeb clients from publications that don't bend to their demand, citing the no-kids policy as the reason. Access to celebrities is increasingly difficult to come by. Because of social media, celebrities don't necessarily need the media to communicate with fans. And because social media can also work against them, they aren't out mingling with the general population at clubs and restaurants as often as in the past. Moreover, thanks to dwindling budgets, most TV shows and print publications find getting enough boots on the ground to report a story a challenge. Celebrities tightly control their images. If they eat at the Ivy or Nello, they are there to be photographed. They can also avoid being photographed with their children if they want. Photographers will be the first to tell you celebrities who don't want to be photographed, from Julia Roberts to Sandra Bullock to Michelle Williams, rarely are. Others are notorious for finding ways to let photographers know exactly where they will be and when. One famous mom, known for being harassed with her children, frequently takes her kids to parks where she knows that photographers are waiting. Another walks her kids to school on the same route every day while constantly complaining about the photographers waiting for her. Celebrities are good at being beautiful, seeming friendly, and looking like good parents who just want to be like us, the people who read about them. But celebrities, especially female celebrities, don't make most of their money on films or even blockbuster summer movies anymore. They make their money as brand spokeswomen for beauty products and fashion labels. They don't want pictures of themselves looking like haggard slobs all over the internet. And the last thing they want to be is anything like you. Me as well. They also believe they should be able to shut down the livelihood of photographers, agencies, and those who purchase photos. Reporters, however, have no choice. If they want to bring readers information that is unfiltered and real, they have to document celebrities as they live. This newish way of doing things exists in wild, messy, uncharted territory. It's unruly and in your face. However, this symbiotic hand washing that once existed between celebrities and the press is quickly dissipating. Celebrities no longer trust the media.